to call the 2016 organizational meeting of the Northwest Local School District to order. I'll begin by calling the roll. Mr. Detzel?
Here.
Mrs. Detzel?
Here.
Mr. Engel?
Here.
Mr. Heather?
Here.
Okay, so our next item is oath of office for newly elected board member. Mrs. Wells, will you handle the swearing in of our newly elected board member?
I think Jim answered.
Yes, both, yes, and
Yeah.
Jim does too, yes.
You want us out there? Sure. I, Jim Detzel,
Do hereby swear
do hereby swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
to support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
that I will perform faithfully
that I will perform faithfully
the duties of a member of the Board of Education of the Northwest Local School District
the duties of a member of the Board of Education of the Northwest School District
of Hamilton County, Ohio,
of Hamilton County, Ohio,
to the best of my ability
to the best of my ability,
and in accordance with the laws now in effect
in accordance with the laws that are now in effect,
hereinafter
hereinafter
to be enacted
to be enacted
during my continuance
during my continuance
in said office
in said office
and until my successor
until my successor
is elected and qualified.
is elected and qualified.
I state your name.
I, Bob Engel,
Hereby swear
hereby swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio.
that I will perform faithfully
I will perform faithfully
the duties
the duties
of a member of the Board of Education
of a member of the Board of Education
of the Northwest Local School District
of the Northwest Local School District
of Hamilton County, Ohio,
in Hamilton County, Ohio,
to the best of my ability
to the best of my ability,
in accordance with the laws
in accordance with the laws
now in effect
now in effect,
hereinafter
hereinafter,
to be enacted
to be enacted
during my continuance
during my
in
continuance
said office
in said office
and until my successor
until my successor
is elected and qualified.
is elected and qualified.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Jim. Congratulations to both Jim and Bob. Our next item is selection of a pro tempore. I think we settled that the last meeting. Anybody have any objections? Okay. Okay, next on our agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance, and before the pledge, I'd like to have a moment of silence in memory of firefighter Patrick Walterman. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, next item is election of board president for 2016. I call for nominations for the election of president of the Northwest Board of Education for the year 2016.
Michael, I'd like to nominate Pam Detzel.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Okay. Do you accept the nomination?
Yes.
Okay. Are there any other nominations? Okay. Seeing none. Is there a motion to close nominations? Okay. Okay. Second. Okay. Nominations are hereby closed. So I guess that means we
Vote.
move on to a vote. If I could have a motion, okay, I guess we took care of that with the nomination. Election of the president is Pam Detzel.
not getting, that was in here, just a second, guys. Just a second.
Did you join the meeting?
Yeah.
Hmm.
There's the second. Okay, here we go.
Okay, congratulations to our board president, Pam Detzel. Moving on, we elect vice president. I'll call for nominations for election of vice president. Mike, I'd like to nominate Bob Engel.
Second.
Are there any other nominations?
I'd like to nominate you, Mike, Charles.
I will decline the nomination. Are there any other nominations? Okay, seeing none, we will close nominations and take a vote for the nomination of Bob Engel as board vice president. Okay, congratulations to Board Vice President Bob Engel. Now let's have the official oath of the President of the Board. Amy, will you please swear Pam in?
I state your name. I, Pam Detzel, do hereby affirm. Do hereby affirm that I will support. That I will support the Constitution of the United States. The Constitution of the United States. The Constitution of the State of Ohio. And the Constitution of the State of Ohio. And I will perform faithfully. And I will perform faithfully the duties of President of the Board of Education. The duties of Presidency of the Board of Education of the Northwest Local School District. Of the Northwest Local School District. Hamilton County, Ohio. Hamilton County, Ohio. To the best of my ability. To the best of my ability. And in accordance with the laws now in effect, hereinafter, to be enacted during my continuance in said office, until my successor is elected and qualified.
Next up is the official oath of the Vice President of the Board. Amy, could you please swear in our Vice President?
Just say ditto. I, Bob Engel,
Do hereby affirm
I support
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and I will perform faithfully
and I will perform faithfully
the duties of Vice President
the duty of Vice President
of the Board of Education
of the Board of Education
of the Northwest Local School District,
of the Northwest Local School District,
Hamilton County, Ohio,
Hamilton County, Ohio,
to the best of my ability
to the best of my ability
and in accordance with the laws
and in accordance with the laws
now in effect
now in effect
and hereinafter
and hereafter
to be enacted
to be enacted
during my continuance
during my continuance
in said office
in said office
until my successor
until my successor
is elected and qualified.
is elected and qualified.
So our next item is the Student Achievement Liaison Team. I will appoint Pam Detzel to that since she's, you're the board president. Can you do both?
I think so, unless
Oh,
there's somebody else that
Kirsten, would you be
wants to
interested,
do
sir?
it.
Okay. Okay. If you can,
I think at this point, Michael, that the president takes over and makes these appointments.
We'll just stay seated like this,
Okay.
it's fine.
the Board of Education appoints the legislative liaison for the board for 2016.
Michael, you do such a great job. Do you
I'm
want
not
to do that?
Somehow I knew that was, I just, there's so much clamoring for this position. But it's, It's a position I've held for 2 years now, so no problem holding it for a third. Establishing time and place of board meetings.
Yes, so I have sent you a preliminary set of board meetings. What you will find is that there is 22 listed. I'm very interested in adding another one in February. I just wanted to meet your needs as far as calendar dates, because I know there was some conflict. So my hope was to establish another one in February would give us 23, and then most likely one at one of the graduation ceremonies, because we only have one in May. So that would make a total of 24. So could you look at your calendars? Right now, the one that is listed that they can't see is February 22nd. What we try to do is go the first Monday and the third Monday for the board meetings. So I would need a date other than the 22nd that you're open. The 15th is President's Day, so that leaves the 8th. Or if we go the 16th, which is a Tuesday after President's Day, would any of them work better? Or
What's the date on Tuesday or the Butler Tech meetings?
Yeah, that'd be.
But, and the thing is, I've got like 5 or 6 meetings in February and like
because you're
5 or
hiring a
6
superintendent. Yep.
because we're hiring a superintendent, so
Do you know what the dates are?
I don't have them with me.
I'm out of town for
What,
Okay, so Bob's out the 5th through the 14th.
I mean,
so that
Mondays
clarifies a
would
lot.
work okay with me if, until I get the Butler Tech meetings in front of me.
Any objection
How about the
to
first?
You're out the 29th.
Is the first
too.
two close to our 19th?
You're out the 29th.
Well, we have a
too,
work session on
because that's
January
when I
25th.
see.
Okay.
But that will be somewhere else.
Yeah, the 28th.
But we could go the 1st or we could go the 29th if either one of those work.
29th, you have a.
I'm in a conference for Butler Tech. The
February
Monday.
1st, Monday?
No, the
Yeah, it's
The
the
29th.
29th, 1st and 2nd.
Could you do February 1st?
I'm okay. I'm okay with February 1st.
How about the rest of you?
Do you have a superintendent?
Doesn't matter to me.
I think
Okay.
the first.
And we'll just do it February 1st.
I think the first works.
Okay, so the only change from what's been presented to you would be to add one to February the 1st, and I will make the new calendar and get it out so it can be published tomorrow. Otherwise, I would ask that you keep the possibility of prior to a graduation, because we always have needs where credits are coming short and discussions need to be had. So that would give us 24 total for sure.
Todd, on the 1st, is that a board meeting or going to be like a work session?
It would be a board meeting, the work
Okay, so
session.
sticking with 7 o'clock.
Yep, stick with 7 o'clock. And I assume 7 o'clock is what you wanted to stick with all of the meetings. That's what I put at the bottom.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so that takes us to, so if we add and make the addition of February 1st, Superintendent recommends the Board of Education approve the time and place for the calendar year 2016 as listed within the addition of one board meeting on February 1st, 2016.
So moved.
Second?
Motion has been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, would you please call the roll? Okay, passes 5-0. Next item, Associate School Board Member to serve on the Butler Tech School Board of Education. Jim Detzel was appointed to a 3-year term set forth in the Ohio Revised Code in 2014, so Mr. Detzel will continue in that role. Unless,
In case you guys want
well,
to
your
do like
term
5
is,
more board meetings in January and 5 in February coming up.
your term is for 3 years, so
Yeah, I know.
unless you're resigning from that
Ugh.
spot. Okay, establish the board service fund for 2016. That's our next item.
I have a question with that. Do we know how much we used of that last year? Because it's pretty much for training and like OSBA, right? When we go to Capitol Conference.
It's pretty much used up with your capital conference.
So if, but there's money in there for Bob to go to a new board member
training?
This starts it over.
And then if there's any, if somewhere down the road, there's any type of training or anything that we as a board decide we want to do, can we come back to this? And if we would need to increase it?
The law is $2 per student or $20,000 minimum is what you can put in there, and you're only putting 4.
Right, I know,
So, yes,
we
you-
had always had quite a bit, and then the last years, with things being, but I know there's some good training and different things for the entire board that it might be worth just to look at down the road. I don't know off the top of my
I would say
head.
if you want to adjust it later, as long as you're within the parameters, you're fine, you can.
I can't see us adjusting it way up over that.
Not that far.
Yeah. Okay,
But you're right, if there's, something comes up and it costs $200 to go or something, then maybe we should.
right.
So the Board of Education authorizes the treasurer to establish a service fund in the amount of $4,000 for the calendar year 2016. But as Amy said, you can revisit that and increase the amount if needed because of conferences or training that you feel is necessary. So the superintendent recommends the Board of Education approve the board service fund as listed.
So moved.
Second?
Yep, motion's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, could you please call the roll? It's passed 5-0. We'll move on to the next item.
Yes, the next item is OSBA Legal Assistance Fund membership. It's whereas the Northwest Local Board of Education wishes to support the efforts of other boards of education to obtain favorable judicial decisions, and whereas the Ohio School Board Association Legal Assistance Fund has been established for this purpose. Therefore, the board hereby resolves to participate in OSBA LAF for the calendar year 2016 and authorizes the treasurer to pay the LAF $250. Superintendent recommends the Board of Education approve the membership of the OSBA Legal Assistant Fund as listed.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, Chris, could you please call the roll? And that passes 5-0. Next item, investment of inactive and interim funds.
Yes, the Board of Education authorizes the treasurer to invest in active and interim funds at the most productive interest rate and according to board policy whenever inactive and interim funds are available. The president, that's you.
The President recommends that the Board of Education authorize the treasurer to invest in active funds and interim funds as listed. Take a motion
Second.
and a second. Motion's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Chris, please call the roll. Motion passes 5-0. Authorization for treasurer to pay bills.
So this one is, the summary is the Board of Education authorizes the treasurer to pay bills as they are presented within availability of funds, report all bills paid monthly to the Board of Education, and include bills not paid due to unavailability of funds. The recommendation comes from the president.
So moved.
Okay, motion's been moved and seconded. Is there a further discussion? Please call the roll. Chris? It's passed 5-0. Next item is employment of temporary personnel.
Yes, this is where the Board of Education authorizes the superintendent to employ such temporary personnel as needed. Such employments are to be presented for approval by the Board of Education at the next regular meeting. The superintendent recommends the Board of Education approve the employment of temporary personnel as listed.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Chris, please call the roll. Passes 5-0. Our next item is appoint a fiscal officer for student activity accounts.
Yes, the Board of Education appoints the superintendent to be the sign-off officer of all student activity programs, and he shall present these programs to the Board of Education once each year. You will also have the authority to approve and/or modify the student activity budgets throughout the year. The superintendent recommends the Board of Education approve the fiscal officer for student activity accounts as listed.
Is there
So moved.
a second?
Second.
Okay, motion's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay, Chris, please call the roll. Okay, motion passes 5-0. Approve student activity accounts.
Yes, the Board of Education authorizes the student activity accounts to be active for fiscal years 2016, 2017. In the attachment, it lists athletic, orchestra, band, vocal, cheerleading, chess, drama, and then other assorted ones, Pride, Key Club, Latin, so on and so forth. The superintendent recommends the Board of Education approve the student activity accounts as listed.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Chris, please call the roll. We pass 5-0. We'll move on to the next item. Authorization of official signatures.
Yes, the next two items, the president will make the recommendation. The first one is authorization of official signatures. The Board of Education authorizes the president, the vice president, and the treasurer to be the official signers of payments of funds for the Board of Education, and further authorize that one of the three sign checks on all Board of Education accounts, and that the president's signature and the treasurer's signature may be a facsimile. A facsimile.
Mrs. Detzel, the floor is yours.
The president recommends the Board of Education approve the authorization of official signatures as listed.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved in second.
Yes, yes.
Any discussion?
Okay, passes 5-0. Next up, authorization of then and now certificates.
The Board of Education authorizes the treasurer to exercise the then and now certification of funds, provided the funds are within the board-approved appropriations and free of any previous encumbrances.
Mrs. Detzel, the floor is yours.
The president recommends the Board of Education approve the then and now certificates as listed. Do you have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved in second. Any discussion? Call for the vote.
Okay, next item, appointment of purchasing agent.
Yes, the board has to appoint a purchasing agent. The Board of Education authorizes the Director for Business Operations as the superintendent's designee to serve as the purchasing agent for the school district. The superintendent recommends the Board of Education approve the appointment of the purchasing agent as listed.
So moved.
Second.
Motion has been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Chris, please call the vote. And that passes 5-0. Next item, waive the reading of the minutes.
Yes, the Board of Education, in accordance with ORC 3313.26, waives the reading of the minutes from previous meetings. The superintendent recommends the Board of Education approve waiving of the reading of the minutes from previous meetings as listed.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Chris, please call the roll. Passes 5-0. Approve board member benefits, item 19.
Yes, pursuant to House Bill 369 dated October 17, 1985, and Resolution 40-85 dated December 9, 1985, the current board members may exercise their option to participate in the district's employee benefit plans at the board member's expense. You have listed a single family employee, spouse, employee, children, and then you also have dental for a single and family and life insurance. The superintendent recommends the Board of Education approve the board members' benefits as listed.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Just that is at 100% of the board member's expense.
Yes, and just in the interest of disclosure, I'm not taking any of these benefits. Any further discussion? Motion's been moved and seconded. No further discussion. Chris, please call the roll. Passes 5-0. Call for adjournment.
I'd like to call for an adjournment. We have a motion.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions? Okay, call for the vote.
Okay. It is
There you go.
end meeting. Click end meeting. I'm sure you want to end this meeting. We'll come back to the tax budget here.